The Railway Minister Pawan Bansal has been sacked as Sonia Gandhi meets the Prime Minister. The big story, are more changes now imminent? Pawan Bansal is out. What about Ashwani Kumar? Is the Law Minister next? The Congress says they will not tolerate manipulation or corruption. According to sources, Sonia Gandhi wants both ministers out. Both Bansal and Ashwani are key Punjab leaders close to the Prime Minister. Was Manmohan Singh trying to protect them? Will this action against the ministers salvage the image of the Congress party? Well, the pictures on your screen are of Pawan Bansal going into the Prime Minister's residence earlier today to hand in his resignation, ending a day of dramatic developments. Pawan Bansal is the first congressman to hold the key railway portfolio in 17 years, forced to quit over his alleged role in Railgate, sacked as railway minister exactly a week after Railgate broke with the arrest of Bansal's nephew for taking a bribe to help a top rail official get a lucrative post. Well, the Congress party initially decided to brazen it out, backing the rail minister and the law minister Ashwani Kumar. This sparked a huge political storm, paralyzing parliament, and the opposition accusing the Congress of being arrogant. Today's sacking of the rail minister Pawan Bansal came on a day the Congress went on record saying it was taking the rail bribery case seriously and that it will not tolerate any corruption. While Bansal has quit, Ashwani Kumar could be shifted to another ministry. An incensed opposition says the Prime Minister is accountable. He must apologize. Ashwani Kumar should be sacked.
कांग्रेस पार्टी भ्रष्टाचार जैसे मामले को हमेशा गंभीरता से देखा है कि the Congress party is not going to tolerate any corruption.
Today's development reinforces BJP demand that even the PM must resign. You allowed a blockade in the parliament when we were seeking accountability. But 2 days after the parliament getting signed, you are taking his resignation. Is it fair? Therefore, the Prime Minister's resignation demand gets added justification.
While I insist that there must be thorough probe, investigation, the CBI must act impartially and objectively. At the same time, the law minister cannot continue to be in office. After the Supreme Court's scathing observations, the law minister cannot continue. His position has become extremely untenable.
All right, we're going to track every aspect of the story. Joining me now, NDTV Sunil Prabhu, Rahul Srivastav and Siddharth Pandey. Sunil, let me come to you first. Is the sacking of Pawan Bansal a recognition that the government, the Congress now believes there is direct information to implicate Pawan Bansal, that he was on the take, or are they merely responding to intense pressure from the media, from the opposition, from everyone?
Well, Vishnu, 2-3 corrections that need to be done. First, there is no sacking. Mr. Bansal has come to meet the Prime Minister. His resignation letter will be accepted by the Prime Minister. I also want to update you that Mr. Ashwani Kumar, the Law and Justice Minister, has also been summoned to the Prime Minister's house. He also will submit his resignation. The two ministers' resignations will be accepted. The Prime Minister at present meeting both these ministers along, of course, and he's been in consultation with the political secretary to the Congress President, Mr. Ahmed Patel, who actually acts on behalf and coordinates and ensures that these ministers come. Those resignation letters will be handed over to the Prime Minister and then, of course, forwarded to the President, and, of course, an official notification with the new portfolios of who's getting what will be announced hopefully late tonight. So the government and the Congress party acting, this follows a meeting between the Prime Minister and the Congress President.
All right, Sunil, what you are telling us is absolutely breaking news at this stage. It's not just Pawan Bansal. The resignation of Ashwani Kumar is going to be submitted now and it will be accepted. Both ministers are out, and that's confirmed news coming in from the Prime Minister's residence at this stage.
That's right, Vishnu, and in fact, it had become extremely untenable for both ministers. Yes, in Mr. Bansal's case, it is because of a gross impropriety about the fact that his family members have been involved and used his office and his closeness with his private secretary, and the story continues as the CBI continues to investigate. But of course, in the case of Mr. Ashwani Kumar, as we've been hearing over the days now, the fact that he involved, and as the Congress party put it, any manipulation in the records is unacceptable to the party, and it's in this context that this entire event has taken place. And here you can see the ministers leaving now, of course, from the Prime Minister's residence. It's just Mr. Bansal having a short, nearly 10-15 minutes meeting. Of course, he would thank the Prime Minister, but the party, the Prime Minister, as well as the government's image has taken a beating for taking so long in taking a decision on accepting their resignations.
All right, Rahul Srivastav, very important news that Sunil Prabhu is sharing with us at this stage, that it's confirmed now that both ministers, Ashwani Kumar and Pawan Bansal, are going. Their letters of resignation perhaps already on the desk of the Prime Minister as we speak. That will be accepted. Are we now, the next step, are we now likely to see a major reshuffle of the Union Cabinet? We don't know, there is an assumption at this stage that Ashwani Kumar may be accommodated in another ministry.
Vishnu, one thing is very clear, that the manner in which the Congress has carried out this exercise, if we go back to what had happened in the Lok Sabha, when Sushma Swaraj, the leader of opposition, had attacked Sonia Gandhi, the Congress president, and had virtually charged her, the government being as the most corrupt, perhaps the foundation to what has happened today were laid then. That is why, if you look at it, that whatever has transpired in the last half an hour, there was a meeting between the Congress president and the Prime Minister. And it is now a Congress clear signal that it is Sonia Gandhi who has pushed for accountability and probity, and all the distinctions which are being made in comparison to between the charges against Mr. Bansal and Mr. Ashwani Kumar, it seems stand neutralized. Sonia Gandhi has given a clear signal now with this meeting and this move that eventually the Congress is preparing for a wider picture, bigger picture. Now the bigger picture also not only means that it means not only getting rid of two ministers who are facing charges, but also preparing for 2014. 2014 can be prepared, Vishnu, only if the Congress party realizes that it has to tinker around, rejig the cabinet and the organization. The TMC has left the Congress, the DMK is gone, and NCP is the lone ally. In this, the Congress party has to fill in the seats vacated by Mr. Alagiri. Also, we are hearing certain fresh faces coming into the government, and also some fresh faces being inducted into the organization. Perhaps this is the wider picture that the Congress will look at, absorb these two droppings or these two resignations into a wider change, and perhaps look forward and hope that the impact of these resignations will be that the public will accept that the Congress is trying to undo the damage which has been done over the last 6 to 7 days.
Sunil, let me come back to you at this stage. Any further details emerging on the Ashwani Kumar front? There was a sense that it was just a matter of time before Pawan Bansal would be dropped, but the Ashwani Kumar case is a lot more complex. It's not a case of corruption, it's a case of political impropriety. So when did this start developing that yes, he was going to go as well? Was it at the instance of Sonia Gandhi that the Prime Minister had to act?
Definitely, Vishnu, and in fact we have been reporting from the last 2-3 weeks now the fact that the Congress core group last Saturday met and told the Prime Minister in no uncertain terms that Mr. Ashwani Kumar has become a liability. Just to add 2-3 points, Mr. Bansal has left the Prime Minister's residence, and in the fitness of things, as he entered, came with the red light beacon on. As he left, it was off, and Mr. Bansal confirming that he has submitted his resignation. Of course, he continues to believe that he has done no wrong and that he was done in by his own nephew as well as his own staff without his own knowledge. That, of course, he will have to prove between the CBI and in a court of law. But nevertheless, he has gone under very trying circumstances. A man who was seen as relatively keen for the Congress party, coming back after nearly 2 decades, getting that crucial portfolio of railways, and now having to leave in disgrace. Having said that, Mr. Ashwani Kumar at present still handing over and thanking the Prime Minister for the services he's rendered, but the party high command absolutely clear. And when I asked them this evening on the specific question of Mr. Ashwani Kumar, the party was very clear. Any kind of manipulation is not acceptable. He has now, of course, come to the Prime Minister's house. That letter of resignation will be given, and then, of course, it will be forwarded to the President, and we will see a new Railway Minister, a new Law and Justice Minister who they are, we will be able to tell you in a short while from now.
All right, and Sunil, very briefly, some of the names doing the rounds. Mallikarjun Kharge hasn't made it as Chief Minister of Karnataka. There is a sense that he may be brought in to the rail ministry. If Ashwani Kumar is shifted to another ministry, is there any speculation at all on who the new law minister of the country may be?
Well, Vishnu, 2-3 things. First of all, I understand that Mr. Kharge is upset about the fact that he hasn't become Chief Minister in Karnataka, and that many of his supporters would be hoping that he will be placated by getting the railway portfolio. But that seems highly unlikely. Probably the Prime Minister would depend on Mr. C.P. Joshi, who held that portfolio a short while back before Mr. Pawan Bansal was given that portfolio. So we could see a little bit of jugglery in that ministry. On law and justice, they would definitely need somebody who knows the job well, who can deal with justice, who can deal with law. There are, of course, a few choices. The choices are between Mr. Kapil Sibal and, of course, Mr. Salman Khurshid, who has already been there, but he also holds the external affairs. So somebody who's known to the judicial sector, in the judiciary, who has practiced in the Supreme Court. They will be looking for somebody who knows the subject well.